Hi there everybody, welcome to another video. In today's video I have this VW Polo. This is a 2012 model, and basically the alternator light, the battery light has come on there, together with everything else here, and also the power steering has given up hope. So that battery light normally means something's happened to the alternator, and it means it's kind of packed up or something like that, and as a result the battery in the car is running really low and is kind of switching all the electrics off. Even you can see even this screen is gone a little bit dark, so I'm just gonna switch the car off. But at this moment in time, I'm definitely suspecting an alternator issue. But what I'll do is I'll check. Obviously, first what I'll do is I'll check with the car running. We'll check if the battery is actually getting any charge from the alternator. If not, then I'm just gonna have to assume we have a failed alternator and it's gonna have to be replaced. So luckily in this model the alternator is not that tragic to remove. It's just sitting here, but we do have to remove the V-belt, take the V-belt out, and then remove a couple of bolts there that are holding the alternator. Usually, obviously, easier said than done. That it doesn't look too bad, but it sometimes can be a bit of a pain in the neck as well, even with all the space that it looks like we have here. But hopefully it won't. But I need to get some alternator numbers here now, and I'm going to be ordering, or well, checking for prices on that alternator. Okay, so this jump starter acts a bit as a multimeter, and you can see the voltage from my battery at the moment is quite low. And the problem with that is that if you jump start the car with your faulty alternator and then you switch this off, the battery will go down again and you might not actually be able to engage gear and amongst other things. So if you had to drive the car from somewhere to another, you may have to have a power pack connected to it if you break down, but obviously you will have to call the RAC or the AA. If you did have one of these at handy, you could connect it and then you can drive the car, but otherwise the car will not let you engage gear with that sort of voltage because it's all electronic. So let me just show you. I'm going to start the car, and I'm going to show you how this is not charging here. As you can see, I have 11.7 volts, so that should be reading 14, and if I switch that off, that goes down, and then the car, electrics, whatever, lights, anything is going to start consuming the battery. So anyway, that's the reason I'm going to be changing this alternator, and then we can have a look again at this once it's done. So let's get cracking. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the battery, actually, because when you disconnect the alternator, we have to remove the positive on the alternator, and that can cause an electric spark if it touches something. And the other thing is, just make sure you have a code for your radio if you need one. If your radio needs a code, you will need that. Right, so I'm going to replace this battery as well. I'm going to put that one there because the voltage on this one is quite low. There would normally be a clamp there holding the battery with a 13mm bolt, but that's already been removed, so just have to remove the battery. Okay, next we have to remove the V-belt here. So for that I've got a 16mm spanner here. So to be honest, it's a lot easier to remove these from underneath. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it from here if I can. So got my spanner there. Just have to release the tension. Oops. Okay, we'll start again. So release the tension from this belt. Another spanner here to help me. Okay, but as I said, this is a lot easier to do from underneath because you have a lot more space, and also you can use a ratchet rather than a spanner. So now you can release this belt from here, and notice that I'm not putting my finger in between the belt and the pulley to remove this in case this slips or anything happens, and then get my finger trapped. Right, now I can release the tension and I can leave my spanner there. It's no issue. Okay, now we have to remove this bolt and the one at the bottom. So 13mm socket. Okay, and we have the bottom one as well. Just gonna disconnect this as well. So just pushing the clip here back, and then you can take this out. Okay, so there will be another connection that we have to disconnect, the positive, which is sitting a little bit below. So I may just try to bring the alternator to its side a little bit so I can get to that connection. Okay, let's try to wiggle this out. Right, so the connection is here. Okay, let's take that little cover out. and that there is a 13 mil as well. So if you didn't disconnect the battery and this cable touches earth, you will have sparks, and then obviously you could damage things, including the ECU and whatnot. So that's why we need to disconnect the battery. Right, that is out. So now I have to try and get this alternator out of here, but I think his that cable may be attached. Okay, that cable is attached on the side. A tiny little, I think it's an 8 mil screw. Well, actually it's not a screw, it's a little nut. Okay, remove those cables and then this will be free. Okay, it looks like it's definitely a bit of a fiddle to get this out of this way. So I just unlock this clamp that holds this AC pipe in place, and also just got it out of the mount there. So I just pulled it up basically, and I'm trying to push it back a little bit, or not back but towards the front of the car. But don't want to fiddle too much with it, because I don't want to cause any leaks or anything like that. It looks like this pipe is flexible here, so it must be a rubber pipe here, this AC pipe. So maybe we have a little bit of leeway. Okay, at the moment it seems to be coming out this way, not so much this way, but it looks like this is on the way, and so is the headlight switch here. Just wondering if the headlight has to come out. So I'm gonna push it back in and try to get this out of the way. Okay, I wonder if that will help, or even if the headlight has to come out. bit of a fiddle. Even the camshaft, well, the timing belt cover I had to remove. Okay, so that's my new, well, not new, it's actually reconditioned alternator. So I just compared it to the other one. It's kind of physically looks slightly different, but these parts where the bolts are and whatnot are in the same position. So it actually, it's a Bosch alternator, by the way. So this bit here, it's the same, and here it's the same, but the other alternator, this part is a little bit more straight like this. So, and also this here is a very, very slightly different position on the other one. But again, it's not enough to say it's not compatible. And this is the bit where the clamp goes. Again, on the other alternator, this part is not like this. It's actually a part of the actual frame. So this is more like added. Oh, anyway, it should hopefully fit. And we'll start the refitting process now. And it goes in a little bit easier because it's also, the frame is a little bit smaller, so it's a bit beneficial from that point of view, I guess. Okay, all the back connections are back on just the way they came out, same sort of fitting. And now it's time to basically fiddle with this again a little bit to try and get it back on its mount. So again, when you're fitting a different alternator, sometimes it's slightly easier. Okay, so the bits where these screw, they are sitting a little bit out at the moment, so it'll be a lot easier to fit this alternator. Okay, so as we tighten this, you may notice that at the back there, if I can just focus, so that's where the bolt is going in, and you will see that that silver bit starts coming back. So it comes with that bit out. so that way you can fit the alternator easy, which is quite clever. That's why I was thinking I might struggle to fit this, because usually those bits are a bit difficult to fit when they are already out, so it's difficult to mount the alternator. But as you can see, that is coming out nicely and is going to secure the alternator in the correct way. So we'll do the same with the bottom. And that's gonna just take me a little while to do, so I'm going to do that same procedure as the top. Okay, I've done the bottom one, so just have to tighten this one and we're pretty much done. So I've got my 2 bolts, and now it's time to fit the belt. So fitting the belt, reversal of removal, release the tension and get your belt around the alternator. Just make sure it's sitting properly around all the other wheels, because otherwise it'll be hard to fit it. So I can see it's moved a little bit. Okay. Okay. Right. Now it's sitting nicely around the wheels, so I can release the tension here and get the belt back in there. Okay, double check all the belt is sitting properly around the pulleys and it looks good to me. So far so good. Everything is back in place. I got this back in place. I just have to plug that in as well. I remove that to take the original alternator out, and also I removed this. So, well, just go ahead and refit whatever you removed back, and then I'm gonna come back, reconnect the battery, start the car, and we're gonna check that it's charging. Okay, I've got the cover back on and everything back on. Now I'm gonna connect the battery. And we can just tighten the terminal. And let's start the car, and it will be the moment of truth. Actually, if you haven't got one of those chargers that measures the voltage, you can use one of these to calculate, well, just to check the voltage on the battery here. So if I can put that there, and well, we'll put that the other one on. So if you have 12 volts, you have voltage here, and I'm just gonna choose 20 there. because this is not going to measure above 20. It's going to go up to 14 if the alternator is charging. Right. Okay, so straight away all the lights that were there are gone, including the battery light. So far we have good news. And now here we can check if this is charging. So if I just get that air and then touch that air, you can see the voltage is 14.2 volts. So the alternator is now charging. Happy days. We solved one problem. So as far as changing the alternator and removing the V-belt, if that's something that you can actually do at the same time, if your V-belt hasn't been changed. This car had the cam belt done last year, so the V-belt was changed as well. As far as that goes, the video is done. The next thing I have to do is I'm going to show you, I'm going to make a video changing the headlight bulb here, because it's not working. So that one's on, as you can see, and that one's not. And hopefully that's just a H7, but I haven't looked in it. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. So thank you for watching.